You say that our lawmakers, we have become lawbreakers.
Hello?
Eric,
Yeah, man.
my son, you made mistake.
Father.
I heard you last night, me and Kun indeed to move Papa. Absolutely, after the whole election, I'm in my corner. If you hear my preaching most Sunday, you will conclude that I'm right. Will you rescue as a nomenclature after winning? The broadcaster don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't let me down. They don't even have time. I'm right. Will you rescue as a nomenclature after winning? The broadcaster don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't let me down. They don't even have time.
Oh.
I don't talk. Yeah, I don't talk because God knows why it's happening. And everything I will accept it because our son Kun is vice president to him for Nimba. The Nimba people will not understand if I start hating on Boyka. I'm right. Will you rescue as a nomenclature after winning? The broadcaster don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't let me down. They don't even have time.
Oh.
I don't talk. Yeah, I don't talk because God knows why it's happening. And everything I will accept it because our son Kun is vice president to him for Nimba. The Nimba people will not understand if I start hating on Boyka. The Senate started a trap for Boyka. When we are wrote, the Senate is. I'm right. Will you rescue as a nomenclature after winning? The broadcaster don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't let me down. They don't even have time.
Oh.
I don't talk. Yeah, I don't talk because God knows why it's happening. And everything I will accept it because our son Kun is vice president to him for Nimba. The Nimba people will not understand if I start hating on Boyka. The Senate started a trap for Boyka. When we are wrote, the Senate did a comprehensive report of their findings and attached the Supreme Court ruling and the amnesty law and everything. And the position statement for the commissioner who decided from Brother to where and said the way forward is a Panama Hall discussion for peace. Then when Boyka come now, he is deceived by coming there, by the Dillon there, Nombi there, and he now where he's just thinking all kind of way Boyka, all kind of thing. He want to go after people. Then, the CDC still control the lower house, the upper house. And paper. And you were here with our own leadership. And we send the report with all documents, legal documents, to guide where. Then Boyka benefited from the 2010 decision by the Supreme Court to be involved in the election in 2011 because he was not wrong with that.
You're right.
He benefited.
You're right.
Then after serving a Bible for 12 years now, he's now president now. We finish campaign for that kind of woman, then he want to persecute us. You not going to persecute us? Oh. You were here when we had sent paper, and you were here with our own leadership, and we send the report with all documents, legal documents, to guide where. Then Boyka benefited from the 2010 decision by the Supreme Court to be involved in the election in 2011 because he was not wrong with that.
You're right.
He benefited.
You're right.
Then after serving a Bible for 12 years now, he's now president now. We finish campaign for that kind of woman, then he want to persecute us. You not going to persecute us? So what is going on with Kun? Then Kun said, well, what I will do for you is to help you with lawyer. Your part has been good with lawyer. So from Kun offered, my own son offered that I went and sign a resolution. I have many things that why you did this. You know what they told me?
No.
Resolution is not a law. So signing the resolution, I mean, we agree. Bring it now. When Boyka send a bill, they will not put all the law they put in now and back it.
I called you Rescue One. Do you think I really believe that at 80 years old you would be able to rescue this country? We embellished it. You know, when you are a sales representative, when you are a salesperson, you're selling a commodity or a product, your job is to embellish that. A week or so later, I have that proof here too. I will show you as well. He said, Henry, now he has seen coming to be his cow now, to be milking Let's milk the man. He said, Henry, can you get like that? You Remy, my dependable nephew. Do you think you can get Alex to donate $300,000 to the JMB Foundation? He tried to make it look like it's money for the foundation because he doesn't want to say for Cummings to give me money. Do you think you can get Cummings to donate $300,000 to the JMB Foundation for some initiatives, making it sound all decent and professional? I said, well, Uncle, let me think about it and I'll refer to you. To be honest with you folks, I never asked Mr. Cummings. You had just eaten the man's 45,000 US for a trip you had no interest in. Now you're asking me to go back to Alex Cummings through his people and make a request for $300,000. Then he said, you know, you might be inclined to give us the money because he wants something from me. So this is the honest man. This is the honest Joe Walker. The Joe Walker that is supposed to be a decent, honorable man is asking me to go to Alex Cummings under the pretext of being inclined to grant Cummings' request for him, Joe Walker, to recuse himself from the political race and raise Cummings' hand. So he wanted me to go now to Cummings to go and get another $300,000 from Alex Cummings. I never did. I never delivered that message to Alex Cummings because I knew Joe Walker was dishonest. I asked Cummings for $300,000 to give to Joe Walker when Walker had just made a fun of Cummings in Ghana at a meeting Cummings gave him money for. This is and these are things we could not come to the public to disclose these things. We could not do these things because we were in too deep. We were in too deep. And so what did I do?
Distinguished colleagues, this is a two-faced issue.
This is a critical issue in this country, and we must stand up and speak the truth. Because for you to use the fact that prior to printing, it means you already tell me print. But before you print, come back to me.
There is nothing in that paragraph that indicated that money should be printed. The essence of this exercise, the essence of this exercise is to know the facts. Everybody will have the opportunity to ask questions if you so desire.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. What a pleasant way to welcome all of you to Freedom Hub on 87.9. Today is Tuesday, the 18th date of March 2025. A day to the game between the Lone Star of Liberia and the people of Tunisia at the Samuel Canyon Dole Stadium in Monrovia. Oh yeah, at the moment. The stadium is there in Painesville. But that's what we used to know. But again, at the SKD in Painesville on tomorrow, the Lone Star will be locking horns with the Tunisian football team. Let's hope that our national team will triumph. If it doesn't happen, then we kiss them Deadwell Trophy as usual. Too many things happen in the country. There are a lot of things we intend to talk about today. A huge quantity of drugs arrested in Lofa County. Over 3 different BB bags filled with drugs, zombie, kush, opium, heroin, different narcotic substances discovered in Lofa County. Who's doing the drug business in the country? The CDC government is no longer in power. Who's still bringing drugs in the country according to our propagandists? I thought it was the CDC government that had drugs coming to the country. They are no longer in charge of the police. They are no longer in charge of the security forces. They are no longer in charge of the national governance. Why do we still have drugs? Why do we still have the proliferation of drugs on our market? So you see, it was never about politics. It was about some issues confronting the security of our state. It had to do with the porous nature of our borders. It had to do with some of the different lack of due diligence on the part of our security officers. It was never about politics. But again, this is a national crisis, a national situation that everybody should confront. And that's why in the midst of it all, it is important to remind the politicians that when you use some instances to come to power and those things start to haunt you, the best thing to do is to apologize to the people and let them know that, hey, my people, this drug issue, we thought it was something that was very simple. We thought George Weah didn't have solution to it. We thought his government didn't have any solution to it. But now that we are here with zombie coming on us and different substances coming, we are sorry that we had to play politics with a very national security situation. That will not hurt. Apologize, then we'll listen to you. But until then, we'll continue to ask you to take drugs from our country because you say it was simple. That is not it. On today's edition, we will begin the conversation about Nimba County. I repeat, on today's edition, we will continue with the conversation. We will begin the conversation, rather, on Nimba County, as that beautiful county will be going into a by-election. What is it? Voters are confusing Nimba. Voters do not know who to subscribe to. There is a whole situation about confusion amongst the citizens as to the particular individual to elect as the next senator to replace Senator Prince Yomi Johnson, peace to his ashes. So on today, we will begin the conversation. It is now going to be politically political. But again, we're going to be starting the conversation on laying the basis. The basis that may give Nimbayans, both in Monrovia and across the country, including those in Nimba County, the opportunity to make some wise decisions during the course of the elections. Motorcyclists represented by Councillor Seaman Serena Cephas and several other lawyers were yesterday seen at the level of the national court of our country, the Supreme Court of Liberia, where they took the complaint of the Liberian National Police to the court over what the term as unjust restriction of their businesses. During the course of the deliberations following the hearing by the justice in chamber, we are told that the deputy police director for Operation Nelson Freeman, we are told that Nelson Freeman allegedly threatened that even if you win the case, we'll continue to run on you. Even if you win the case, we'll continue to do a lot to you. We are told that Nelson Freeman allegedly threatened motorcyclists. And that was also heard from the chairman of STAN, Mobake Malu Jr., when he granted the press an interview yesterday following the court issue. So it is a whole bucket list today. We are hoping that we'll be able to touch each and every bit of what we intend to talk about today right here on the People Station. Let's take a break. When we come back, we bring you Crime Stoppers Liberia, our official sponsor. And later on, we will go back to the cash giveaway and punch for $4,000 to a few of you who will be playing, especially when you dial star 799# and select Freedom Radio as spot number 11. My name is Kai. Alexa is here. Let's have a wonderful time. Before then, let's take a break to be right back.
The stopping ground for all of our Crime Stopper. The people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper. Stopping ground and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia. From the center to interior. Crime Stopper. Keeping us safe. The stopping ground for all of our.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, old man Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making.
Okay, all right. So the people bringing safety to your door, Crime Stoppers Liberia. Omen Samson is the chief executive director of that noble non-governmental organization. Alexa, good afternoon, my dear.
Good afternoon, Oliver, and I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. However, where you're joining us, we'd like to say welcome to Freedom Hub on 87.9 FM. We have a lot to talk about today. As you know, a lot is happening in Liberia from different sectors. So it is really essential that we talk about all of these different issues in our country. So however way you join us, we'd like to say welcome.
Okay, so basically, there's a whole lot we're going to be talking about on today. But let's say the first thing is huge quantity of drugs, discovered in Lofa County. Yeah, but I thought we're not supposed to be having drugs in the country anymore. I thought the borders
we're not even supposed to be talking about. You have maybe drugs entering Liberia at about this time, because I remember one of the things that people talked about a lot when we had the campaign in Liberia, and before the campaign in Liberia, it was about drugs, right?
Good.
And I think one of the favorite lines of the folks who always talked about drugs availability in the country, they were always talking about the administration at the time, George Weah, when he was president. They always talked about George Weah is bringing drugs in the country. The ministers are bringing drugs in the country.
Oh, yeah.
And to them, a lot was not done.
And according to them, the reason why they said President Weah were bringing drugs to the country because they were in charge of the country. They had the police, the security, everything.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was coming to.
That's the propaganda.
And they talked about how our borders were not as strong as they're supposed to be because security was not at the highest peak it should have been.
They were taking instruction from people in power. Yeah.
And people in government were using their influence to have the border to be weakened, to have drugs to come in Liberia. And that was like 2 years ago, or probably you would say maybe or years, some months ago. Right. So prior to 2023 general elections, a lot was said. And I think one of the most trendy issues discussed was the issue of Kush. Of course, that was widely talked about by even some of the ministers we have today under Mr. Boakai as Liberia's president. So for me, I think at this time, Oliver, we should be talking about this government has done everything to kick out, drugs out of the country. At about this time, we should be discussing how Mr. Boakai, along with his people, has already kicked out number one Kush out of the country, because that was one of the things they talked about basically every now and then. And that was also in a song, and stuff like that. And that was one of the campaign messages.
Good.
that we're here and drugs are not supposed to be in the country. George Weah is bringing drugs in the country, and it is ruining the lives of youth in our country, young people, and this is not supposed to be happening. So as people who campaigned on the premise of that or those phrases, at about this time we should be discussing, oh, we don't have drugs in Liberia, and we don't even know if drugs should be mentioned whenever we're talking about different issues in our country.
By this time, there should be no conversation about drugs in Liberia.
We shouldn't be discussing that
because the government
we shouldn't be discussing that.
Told us there will be no drugs.
No. So the fact that even last year when it just took power, they had an introduction of a new drug in the country.
Yeah.
And that was discussed by the LDA.
Fadiga and AB
at the time, the bosses at the time, they talked about that. There was a whole press conference about it. That was really shocking because for me, that should have even been talked about 100%. That press conference, was to be about, oh, we've already kicked out Kush out of the country. It was not about we have a new drugs in Liberia now.
Good.
And that was an introduction of it. So now we've got 1 year, some months in Mr. Boaka's government. We should not be discussing drugs, or you have new drug back in the country, or something is coming from Lofa County, or has entered Lofa County, or Grand Cape Mount, or just different counties we have in Liberia. This is really disappointing. And again, Oliver, I'm sure people who were out during the campaign, people who were out there, people who believed exactly some of the words said, some of the phrases shared as well. Right now, I'm sure they're also thinking like, what's exactly, what's happening at this point? Why do we have, introductions of new drugs in the country? Why do we continue to have pieces of information that, of course, drugs are in Liberia, or different kinds are in Liberia? Because now we shouldn't be discussing, drugs or all these things. They're ruining the lives of citizens or young people. No, that was hardly criticized, right? You said that was like really, really a moment where young people were not prioritized. The government of the day was not really focused. They were not sensitive enough to have fought drugs or to have kicked out drugs out of Liberia. In fact, they were bringing drugs to spoil the children in Liberia, we'll say it that way. So now I think the big question is, Oliver, like, why do we still have drugs coming in Liberia?
Drugs should not be entering the country.
Drugs should not be entering Liberia. That should not be an option. So the fact that we have this, I think they failed on another promise yet again. Or maybe someone will want to say, no, we're just 1 year, a few months, and we're still working. But if you had already created an impression that should not have happened, or never ever in the history of Liberia, and you're coming to get that out, I'm not sure we should be talking about it. So for that one now, I'm disappointed, and I think the rescue missionaries should also question Mr. Boakai along with his people, and let's see what's happening. And I remember a line in a certain song we premiered right here. They brought the guys to fight drugs, and at the end of the day, they were fighting each other for drugs money, or all those different things. So here I don't know if we still have LDA in the country, especially to have a vibrant LDA where the people are working tirelessly to kick out drugs. We talked about a collective effort. We talked about that here, and we talked about when it comes to fighting drugs in Liberia, that should be an apolitical fight. But a lot of you said, no, we already had a side. That's one of the reasons we're saying it was apolitical. And now here we are. So the fact that you politicized that back in the day, it is not wrong today to have this politicized. And besides that, you also said you had come to rescue the country. And of course, the issue of drugs, that was like one of the major issues you talked about. That was one of the major issues projected, that you were going to be here to find a solution. So it has been over a year, some months, and we are not. In fact, Kush is still in Liberia, for the record. I thought by now we wouldn't be talking about we have Kush in Liberia, Oliver, no, because that was something to campaign on. So we shouldn't even be having that. And besides Kush in Liberia, we also have other, new drugs, the zombie, the solar panel, so they're plenty. Right. So, I don't know where we are, but the lives of young people are ruined, and it is happening every single day. and nothing has been done. So now you have Lo-Fi County, man, Little Lo-Fi County. I don't know what's going to happen there. And maybe it is going to lead from Lo-Fi County to Bong, Nimba, Margibi. And you never tell it is going to go across the 15 counties in Liberia. And that would be really worse. But we should not be discussing the introduction of new drugs in the country. Never, ever, ever, and ever.
Okay, so before we go to the motorcyclist issue and the suit that was fired by Stand against the police, Stand is working in collaboration with the motorcyclist. By the way, Stand is Maba Molu's how you call this thing? Civil society organization. Yeah, he's having it. They're involved with advocating for people whose rights will be violated by the government or business people and whoever the case is. But just to conclude on what Alexa threw more light on, look, we should not talk about drugs in this country under Joe Bwaka because the government came to power with the fight against drug as a very, 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 very key manifesto item during the campaign. I mean, this was very, very crucial to them. It was not that we as administration, they were not arresting drugs. No. In fact, every case that came up about drugs in this country was as a result of an arrest that was made. The drugs that was arrested at the airport, it was the same thing. It was never arrested by citizens, the very police, the very national security. It has never been about the government not apprehending, or arresting the situation. But what the Unity Party propagandists, including Mr. Bwaka and the rest of them who wanted power, were pushing is that the fact that drugs were being arrested under George Weah shows that the government was not serious about the fight against drugs. Now, we were trying to make that to make sense to our people, but because we were in campaign time, when you were saying the truth, people think you were saying it because you are into political era, you just want to get political goal. And so since the campaign period is over and we are at the level of governance, it is the appropriate time now to talk about these issues. There should be no reason why we should be talking about drugs right now, because that is not the picture you presented to us. And Alexa, the reason the country is hard today, the reason Liberians are going through tough times under Joe Bwaka's administration, it's not because Liberians are not used to hustling. It's because when these guys were campaigning, they created a picture that as soon as you have given them the country, as soon as you made the decision to bring them to power, almost 80% of your problem will be automatically solved. That is the kind of picture these people presented. If you think I'm lying, I'll play you one of the clips from President Bwaka. In that clip, he said, our sisters who can go buy goods to China and other places, who used to go buy goods to China, they stopped going to China to buy their goods because the country was high under George Weah. He said it when he was campaigning. I wonder how many of our sisters today can go to China to go and buy goods. I wonder if they bring their goods to the country, whether you have people buying the goods as they used to buy before. That's a whole different conversation we're going to be having. But what I'm saying is that the reason why we are holding these people accountable on the issue of the drugs is because they did not make it appear like the fight against drug was a technical situation. No. They made it appear like there was a solution sitting down somewhere. President Weah and his folks could not run directly to that solution to solve the problem about drugs. That's how they presented it to the Liberian people. That, they think easier to fire, but Joe Weah won't do it because he doesn't know how to do presidency. That's how they made it appear. Regrettably for them, they are now in power. And today, as we speak, today, drug was arrested. Huge quantity, over 2, 3, 4 BB Marawala bags. They put it in blue plastic. Arrested at one of the venues in Lo-Fi County. Can we now say Joe Bwaka bringing drugs to the country? Because the similar huge quantity of drugs that the DEA used to arrest under the Weah's administration are similar quantities we see coming to the country. The same rate at which drugs will be arrested in the country, at which the CDC government used to arrest drugs, is the same situation we are having. Almost after 2-3 weeks, you'll find both Wadasa, they arrested the other truck, they arrested the other one, the same thing happening. Now, should Liberians now say that the drugs are coming into the country today, that Joe Bwaka bringing it? Should Liberians say that? That's where my followers and I can defer. That's why they must second agree. I'm not going to say Joe Baka bringing drugs. If others were so foolish enough to look at the difficulties associated with our borders, knowing how challenged our immigration, and different border patrol, operators are, knowing how challenged the guys are, and to blame drugs proliferation on a certain president, that was being foolish by them. I'm not going to be as foolish as they were. They didn't have any record to show that it was President Weah who were bringing drugs to the country. No, there was no record that they had. But because they were foolishly, walloping in their political, operation, so they thought to blow it out of proportion. So whenever there was a case of drug being arrested, they would say, "Oh, the CDC government bringing drugs to the country. CDC government bringing drugs to the country. CDC government because we're in election period." Now today, the drugs they've arrested today and the ones they're being arresting and the ones that will arrest tomorrow. Can any Liberian citizen now come up and say that Joe Baka and Unity Party bringing the drugs to the country? Will that make sense? I know the UP people are saying it will not be good. How you say that President Baka bringing drugs to the country?
But again, it wouldn't be unfair for people to say that. I wouldn't say they're right or wrong because that's exactly the path folks we have to be threaded.
That's correct. And that's why my issue is a personal issue. But I'm saying if Liberians start to look at Joe Baka and look at the Unity Party and say, all that drugs you're arresting in Lofa, Bowatersa, that UP bringing the drugs. Also, you the Unity Party people now, by the time you start getting vexed, right? That's when what you're saying, the Pape bringing drugs, the Pape solo bringing drink. Oh, no, but you said the same thing about another administration.
How is it wrong today?
You didn't make it appear like there was a structural problem confronting the sector. You didn't make it appear like that. You allow politics to eat up your sense of reasoning. And that's why I don't want politics to do to me, Alexa. And that's why I do not want politics to do to me. I don't want to be political to the extent that something I know it is not possible. Or better say something I know that the probability is very, 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 very slim. And because of politics, I say that anything happening. No. In as much as I do not endorse the presidency of Joe Baka, for me, I think President Baka doesn't have what it takes to lead this country, owing to the fact that the country is more difficult than ever before. Too many things are happening. But at the same time, it is not going to be a fair deal to abrogate onto him the proliferation of drugs in the country. I can only do that from a leadership perspective. But I say he is the one selling drugs, as the UP propagandists were foolishly saying during those days. I mean, for me, it would not be a good thing. But anybody can say it. I will not stop anybody from blaming Joe Baka for bringing drugs in the country, because that person too hard, their president, President Weah. Baka supporters used to accuse their president of bringing drugs to the country. So if any George Weah supporter come here on the radio and say the drugs are in the country that Joe Baka bringing it, I will not have issue with you, because people did that to you. But I particularly, as a propagandist, as a talk show host, I'm not going to say that, because I know the truth. I'm not going to be one of those blind political commentators who will just look at a particular situation because it favors my political alignment, and I say, okay, you know what, that won't happen. No, I'm not going to do so. But those who will also do it, they will not be wrong. They will not be wrong because they were victims of the same wrong tagging. How the hell Joe Weah will bring drugs to the country? Marcus Zeyu was the head of the DEA under President Weah, right, Alexa? So how the hell would George Weah bring drugs to the country and his own security people will arrest the drugs and go allow media people? Yeah, but I mean, look, the election finished before we started to reprocess some of the foolishness people used to be saying in the country. Come to think about that, Alexa, the president of the country want to sell drugs. Who appointed the head of security for DEA? That the president. If president if a Liberian president want to sell drugs, the first thing that will happen, the police director, the head of police, will be one of the drug, how they call the thing, transporter. The DEA will be one of the distributor. The airport head there will be a whole syndicate that you cannot breach. And I mean, if the head of DEA, I assign Alexa to the airport to go be DEA agent. The first thing when I know say our consignment coming, I tell Alexa, you can't go buy me power to unification time. Before she finish bringing my power,
The deal is already done.
I finished bringing the drugs because it is a whole structural thing. Now, how will a certain president be bringing drugs to the country? Then his own people who he appointed in security arresting the drugs. I mean, these are some of the lies that fooled the Liberian people to go to vote. These are some of the lies that were spread out through the country that made people to make political decisions. And I can't blame them because our society is so gullible. The society is such a way that anything you say to the people, they tend to believe it. And that's the greatest weakness that we have in this country. People don't process information anyhow. The man a president, he doing drug business, but your own security they arresting the drugs. Come on, in Africa, something happening to you, something wrong with you. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. But people saw that propaganda. So if anybody come down and say the drugs are arresting every day in Montreal, that Joe Burger bringing it, that person will be right. But I would not say it. I would not say it. I would not say Joe Burger bringing drugs to the country. But if anybody have that perception, they will be right because Burger supporters outrightly accused Georgia of bringing drugs to the country when they knew that it was not true. But because of politics, they said it. So if any weird supporter want to do politics too with the same thing and say Burger bringing drugs to the country, they will be right in their own sense. For me, particularly as an individual, I'm not going to go that route. You know why? Because I'm not as crazy as people who made outlandish statement against the former president will approve. Those who want to say against President Waka, they will not be funny too. Because they'll be saying it in revenge. They'll be revenging. Yeah, some of them may even know that it is not SYG, but they will do it too so that these Waka people can know how it can feel to implicate people because you are desperate for position. Let the country here now, they give it to them. Liberia is more than hell. The country is tough than anything you have ever imagined in the history of the country. The prophet who spoke, you know me, Alexa, I'm a Christian, but the prophet said, I ain't let to listen to it too much. But for the first time, I'm beginning to believe in prophecy. Because what the prophet said was very simple. He said, if old man Joe become president, the rich will suffer, the poor will suffer, the average people will suffer, everybody will suffer. What is happening right now in the country? People got money in their pocket now to go home after work. They can't find a car to go home. They're walking from Broad Street to go to Freeport. Why? Because Gregor Como woke up want money, and I will come and go to the Mobile Molu situation. He made a statement yesterday. Greg woke up want money. He woke up from the wrong side of a bay. He said, no policemen, no motorcycles will come out to Central Monrovia. People got money in their pocket. They're looking for a car to go home. Cars are insufficient. They're looking for bikes to go home. No motorbike. They have to walk certain distance to cut short their trips. People want food. Too many things not working anymore. People coming to school. They can find car easily to come to school. All of the cars are occupied. They have to wake up as early as whatever because if you don't do it, you will miss your morning classes. People working, and also going to school at the same time. The motorbike used to make it very easy. You work on your town, Alexa, and your school is in Central Monrovia. So you plan your courses in a way that you get about 30 minutes interval, to go between class and your work. It is no longer happening because no more bike. You get in one Tesla, the Tesla will stop 1 million times between Broad Street to the City Hall. The Tesla will stop 1 million times to put people down. So the rich suffering, the poor suffering, everybody's suffering. Because of the same power you wanted. So yeah, your drugs coming to the country. All the people who said that Joe Biden bringing the drugs to the country, they are right. I'm not going to say they're wrong. I will not just say it because I got my own personal conviction. But they will be right because that's the kind of message, that's the standard you guys set for when you were not in power. That's the standard you set. So we beg you. We say you shouldn't be bringing the drugs to the country, but the children, the drug spoiling, you must find means to settle them. Rehabilitate the children you're spoiling with the drugs you're bringing to the country. Rehabilitate the children. Take them to rehab. Transform them. You promise that they wouldn't have been these wayward children suffering around the place. Regrettably, your own Zogo then they got BB on their feet. I know what kind of drugs you're bringing to the country under this administration. The drugs that are coming today, the kind of soul that are creating on people's feet is disgusting. Unprecedented. Unprecedented. The last time I saw Hoda Picking, he got Sabu and he got a face cap. They can cut their hair, then they rub the drugs to the open mole area. They call it solar panel. I mean, that owner Joe Baka knows that they got solar panel. The person can scrape their hair, scrape their hair sabu, scrape their hair bar. Yeah. Yeah. So the person scrape their hair to what the open more can be, then they rub the drugs there. They rub the drugs there, hold it, I've been passing around in the sun. Though. That means as long as he's walking in the sun, the drugs continue to recharge. That's what they call it solar panel. Those are things that we see happening under the administration. Can I say that Joe Baka bringing it? No, I'm not able to say that one. But can a CDC supporter, can a Tier 1 Gongo supporter or a supporter of a different party accuse Joe Baka and his government of bringing it? They will be right, because Baka and his supporters also accuse former President George Weah of bringing drugs to the country. So when we see drugs in Liberia today, and they are alleging that it is Baka and people who bringing drugs, they will be damn right. Oh yeah, they will be right, because that's the standard that was set forth by these people in power today when they were in opposition. So we're not going to say more on it. Yeah, so we come and go to the motorcycle issue, and that's it. But maybe you got 30 second stuff to say on it, Alexa, before we wrap.
So I think I would just go back to reiterating what I said about people who want to say Joseph Boakai is responsible for drugs coming to Liberia. 100%. I wouldn't be like, hey, I want to say they're wrong or they're right. So if anyone wants to prove self-righteousness, I don't think they should do it on this issue, because we said before, when it comes to drugs, especially if you want to fight drugs so much, you need a collective effort. You need, every hand on deck.
You don't need to be political about it.
You don't need to be political about it. Why? Because a lot of people are affected. And the folks who are affected, some of them are just here, they're young people, and they don't understand some of the things when it comes to politics, they're not involved with politics and nothing like that. So when you have projected an image of someone, intentionally wanting to ruin the lives of young people, especially you're attributing that to, drugs availability in the country, otherwise you should think twice. Because Mr. Boakai just going back and forth and thinking about his quote-unquote sad experience, he should understand that when it comes to drugs, whether in Liberia or out of Liberia, everyone has to work together. You need civil society organizations, you need the media, you also need the government. So everyone has to work together. But this was like one of the loudest phrases when it comes to George Weah bringing Kush in the country. The day that was sung, his supporters, his now government officials, all of them, they said that, and people use that as a campaign messages, as a campaign message. Rather, they went to different counties, they talked about that a lot. So today, I mean, number one, we should not be talking about new drugs in Liberia, because for me, if we're talking about that, it means Mr. Boakai, he has already failed in that regard.
Okay.
And number two, people who are saying Joseph Boakai is responsible, well, it is up to them, and I wouldn't say they're wrong for that. Like, seriously.
Yeah, so that's it right there. We'll open up the lines very soon to talk about the drugs issue, but let's blend it with the motorcycle situation. Then when we come back, we talk about President Boakai and the Nima County election. Now, Alexa, the motorbike people took the police to court, so we'll want to speak with. I don't know if Yellow Machine is listening. Yellow Machine, if you're listening, call me, or I'm about to call you, please. But again, we will when we are done, before we go take calls, we'll give people some money. So if you are there, star 799 hatch, Select Freedom as spot number 11. We will give as many 4,000s as we can. Star 799 hatch, you Select Freedom as spot number 11, and that is exactly what is going to be. But let's go and speak to the head of the motorcyclists. The guys made us to understand, Alexa, that the Deputy Police Director for Operation, T. Nelson Freeman, allegedly told motorcyclists that they will win the case. The police will win the case against them. But if the police win the case, motorcyclists should not celebrate because they will be dealt with.
Wow.
Oh no. Okay, so I'm struggling to get him. I'm struggling to get Trogon. I'm struggling to get Trogon, Yellow Machine. But let me try again one more time to see if he's available. Let me see if he's available. Okay, are you there, my dear brother?
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
Okay, all right. So good afternoon and welcome. Quickly, there is this concern, Mr. Trokon, alias Yellow Machine, the head of the Supreme Motorcyclists of Liberia. Now, you were at the court yesterday, and the initial hearing was conducted by the Justice in Chamber. Following that hearing, we are being told that the Deputy Police Director for Operation allegedly went to some motorcyclists and started to threaten them that even if you win the case, we will continue to run after you people and we'll do this, do that, do that. Tell us exactly what your guys said the Deputy Police Director told them.
So, again, like you said, we had a first hearing on yesterday, and we are not going to get into the details of the different exchanges in Chima because we are waiting for the final ruling from the Associate Justice.
Good.
But sadly, our guys were told because they were denied accessing the grounds of the capital of the Temple of Justice.
Mm-hmm.
So they just got a right from the gate because the case concerned them. So they left from different places and they got out there. So after the hearing, we'll make our way down. We spoke with our guys and we told them that this case, we are going to win it, giving them, looking at the different changes from both the government lawyer and our lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
We told them that they should be calm. The case is a clear winning case for us. But then sadly, when we came down, everyone, all the police, the Solicitor General, all of us came down. When we went for our car to the parking space, the Inspector General, along with the entire team, they went to the cyclist and I saw them walking to the cyclist. So I like, you're just waiting. So we were just going to get a car from the fence. We come outside. When we came outside, when we came with the car, we just saw the police, coming with, the riot guards, running, coming to the cyclist, So I got down from the car and I went there. What's the issue? Your dress, on the post here, don't get across the road. So I got down from the car and started to ask, but what's the issue? You guys were full here. He said, but Nelson Fremont and his boss went in here and started threatening all that. We are wasting our time going to court. The first thing he said, hey, you're brave enough to come to court. I think your own politician misleading you, and you will see. You're sitting there, you're wasting your time. That case, whether you're winning or not, you guys will not enter the room. You guys will not enter the street. You should even be happy that you're still using pins because according to the guys, he has traveled to other African countries. He can see motorboat people all in the capital city, they're passing around. And so you're wasting your time. That case, even if they rule in your favor, you will not still enter this rule. And he even went further by saying, did you people listen to Darrell Dillon? Darrell Dillon's statement, if you listen to it, then you will know that you not be dreaming about coming back on the road. Because even the entire legislature is in support of this initiative. And that's why we got no fear. You come on the road, we will hit you. I don't know whether some of you guys are seeing some of your friends that can sometimes encounter us in the street. You should see the kind of mark on them.
I come in. So Nelson Fremont reportedly told the motorcyclists that even if you win the case, we will not allow you to come on the road. Even when the court rule in your favor, we will not allow you to come on the road. When you come on the road, we hit you. The same way we can hit your other colleagues who got marked on them. The police deputy director for operations said that.
Well, yeah, that's why my colleague said. So they went further by explaining, so the entire police force, you sit down, you won't be lawless, you sit down politicians,
your colleagues who said they were there, are they willing? Yes. Are they willing to say that even when the court decide to call them?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. In fact, we even went there to have things under control. I got to get up on the car and told them, gentlemen, y'all leave on the place because they put it in my mind, they are out for provocation. Some of these statements that they are using, I don't want you to, respond to them because that could end up, to something else in my mind. They just want to present a picture that we are violent, and so their actions can be justified. So that's how I got up on the car and I drove them on the scene. I said, you just make your way out of here to avoid problem. But there were different remarks, different threatening remarks they made, not just the one or two, even the Inspector General himself. He had a change with them. The guys, some of them even recorded him. Sadly, he didn't know.
Okay, we will need those recordings, my dear brother.
Okay.
Yeah, we will need those recordings. But thank you very much. We saw Chairman Mobile Malu of STAN also at the court yesterday. He had a very short interview. I'm about to play it for our people, but I just wanted to hear from you, the head of the Supreme Motorcyclist.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So let's have the man confirm it that his colleague said, because he said that he was already in the car about to leave, and the few hierarchies of the police went to the guys and said, look, y'all brought us to court. Even when the court rule in your favor, we're not allowed to count the rule. In fact, we hate y'all. If your team will lie, y'all ask some of your friends who have encountered police people, you will know the kind of injuries and stuff. Come on. No, this should not be the case. But let's listen to the head of STAN. Mobile Malu was also there. I think he spoke about this same threat by the police, towards motorcyclists. And according to our information, it was Malu who had to go on the scene along with the motorcyclist leaders to put things under control, because the bike riders wanted to retaliate when the police director threatened them. That even when y'all win this case, we'll still go after you. That is what has been reported. We'll come out to have our conversation about it, but this is not a good thing just from the surface. It is not. When people go to seek justice through the courts, and you notice that the court may likely rule in the favor of those people, you are not above the law for any reason. If the court says police is wrong, the police is wrong. Whether you got gun or not, you do not have the authority to abrogate unto yourself what the law says, especially when you're not implementing it in favor of the law. But let's hear what Chairman Malu, because his civil society institution is one institution that is with this whole advocacy for the motorcyclists in the country. Let's listen to what he had to say after the situation. Perhaps Alexa will give us additional information on what transpired.
The comments of the director of police or his deputies to provoke you. Yeah. Don't allow the comments of the director of police or his deputies to provoke you. The intent is to provoke you and to put you into actions that will be used against you on the court premises. So don't allow them to be provocative. You are represented by competent lawyers, and the current case that seeks to compel government to raise restrictions on bike riders is before the Chamber of Justice. I believe the Chamber of Justice and the Supreme Court bench has the integrity, has the moral to render judgment in the interest of you, the people. So utterances from one Nelson Freeman, who is being paid by taxpayers to protect life and property, should not provoke you. He is too small to be above the rule of law. Mr. Coleman is too small to be above the rule of law. Not even the justice minister is above the rule of law. Not even the president. Even President Boycott is too small to attempt to preside or to be above the rule of law. My plea to you is to remain law-abiding. Respect the rule of law and give the court a chance. I strongly believe you have the law on your side, and the justice in chambers or the Supreme Court bench will rule on this matter in your favor. I believe that. I believe that. So let's give the process a chance. Look up to us. Your rights, your privileges as Liberian citizens will never be compromised. Those that you place before this process, your colleagues are doing well. They are working around the clock to ensure that everything is done to give you the necessary redress as aggrieved citizens who have been violated by an exploitation of power by the police. And I'm speaking right at the headquarters of the police. This building here was built and sanctioned to have officers with the responsibility to protect lives and properties, not to violate lives, not to violate the rights of the people. And so, don't be afraid of the police. The police is there to protect you. Listen, please. Order. The police is there to protect you. I'm not saying there are not some backgrounders that behave in manners consistent with the rule of law. There are some backgrounders whose behavior have created problem for the majority of motorbike and keke riders. Exactly. And we don't support that. But there are hundreds of thousands of bike riders that are decent people. Yes. That respect the rule of law. Exactly. That have their families. I'm one of those. That are responsible. Yes. That are students. That are even employers of their brothers and sisters. Yes. So you cannot punish hundreds of thousands of people because of the behavior of a handful of disgruntled bike riders. It is wrong. Sure. And that's why we are at the police headquarters. And we will not rest till justice is given to the hundreds of thousands of bike riders. Yeah. So don't be afraid. Don't mind the likes of Nelson Freeman. He has a history of violence in this country. Everybody knows his reputation. But regardless of his behavior, we must not take law into our hands. Since it is before the court, let's give the court a chance to render judgment in this issue. And in my view, at the end of the day, good will triumph over evil, and bike riders, keke riders' rights will prevail. So thank you. In the next few days, I will urge our leaders to bring you to your different centers. We'll come there, we'll hold meetings, and we will speak to you on issues relevant to your interest, to your security, and to your freedom of movement. So thank you. God bless you.
Okay. All right. So basically, it's clear. Malu had to go there, according to the information, to calm the riders down. Because Alessa, when you listen, the guys were getting angry. Oh, we know the policemen and horses. Look, when the case is in court, it is in court. Whatever the decision the court will render, that decision should not be threatened by anybody. To do that is to be above the law. That's why you heard Malu in his statement. He said nobody is above the law, and that is exactly where we stand. Let's have maybe from you quickly, then we can wrap up and go to our lines. Then we go to the main topics during the course of the second segment. But that's it.
Okay, so I think the leadership of the Supreme Motorcyclists, they're actually handling this responsibly. That's exactly what I'm going to say, because I remember when we started discussing this, I was like, we spoke to one of their leaders via telephone right here on this platform. And I remember he said a lot of different things to, his teammates or his team members. And he told them to remain peaceful, and he told them to remain organized, because this is actually something they're fighting for. It is not just for the moment. It is something that they hope to achieve, and it is something that, they hope that whatever issues that the government of Liberia through the Liberia National Police, has with them will be handled. So I think the fact that we saw just the first day of the peaceful protest where, they marched and they had a petition, and they actually did everything possible to get the message across. Some of them, of course, they were given money, but by some of the lawmakers, they rejected that because they know exactly what they want. And this is not just for few people. It is for, just the union, because they want exactly what they want to them. Their rights are being violated, or one of their rights is being violated. So the fact that they have gone to the court it says a lot about how intentional they are. The fact that, you know, they're really patient enough to seek redress, or, you know, just to go to the court and have this issue sorted out by the court or through the legal system. It says a lot about how far that they're willing to go just to have, you know, their movement or where they're supposed to go to be handled properly. So the fact that Mobile Molu from Stand, that's one of the civil society organizations we have in Liberia now, of course, into advocacy, and they're there to also protect the rights of people in Liberia. So he says something that I picked up on, and that was about the rule of law. He also talked about no one is, you know, bigger, not even the president of Liberia is bigger than the constitution, or when it comes to the law in the country, no one is bigger than that. So the fact that, you know, those young men have thought it wise to use legal means to have their, you know, issues handled, it is really clear. And for me, I think what the guy said before we played this recording from Mobile Molu, I think I would appreciate if we have, you know, audios, or to have a clear understanding as to some of the words, because he said exactly what was said to them by, what was his name? Is it Nelson? Or yeah, what was said to them. But I'm eager to listen, and I'm eager to know exactly some of the words said directly word for word, because I want to know what was said and how that was said. Because if you have a case in court, Oliver, I think it is important to exercise some level of patience, because you will have people to get around to provoke you. You will have people to get around just to make you go out of character, because they want you ruin, you know, a perfect image of what you want to achieve at the end of the day. So if you are not patient enough, you're going to go against yourself, and you're going to ruin exactly what you're hoping to achieve at the end of the day. So I don't know how that you know, interaction happened. I don't know how they actually went about it, but for me, I'm not sure it is really necessary, or I'm not sure as to whether it makes sense to have someone from LMP actually threatening them, allegedly, that of course you're in court, whether you win or you don't win the case, this is exactly what's going to happen. That's some level of intimidation again. Like, you're intimidating people. So I don't know what was said. That's why I keep saying I really love to have just an audio to listen more and to understand what was said and how that was said, because that's a level of intimidation that's not really necessary at this point. If you think, as you know, one of the big men at LMP, you think that you don't personally, you don't want motorcyclists in the street, I mean, that's on you. But the fact that you have them to go to this length to have their issues to be addressed legally, it means they're not in this for, you know, any you know, a validation. No, it means they're really intentional about this, because right now their survivability is at stake, and a lot of them right now, they're not doing what they usually do to get money to feed themselves, their families, and all that. So for me, it doesn't make sense right now. They have a lot of different claims from the angle of the motorcyclists. They have a lot of different claims, and I would just like to put this out there. We've said here a couple of times, there was a condition and there were requirements, and majority of the guys followed exactly what you wanted them to do. To have a proper document, to have, you know, insurance and all these different things. Majority of the guys did exactly what you wanted. And I think that was a requirement to have them, you know, apply in the street of Monrovia, the different streets in Monrovia. They did what they did. Like the police, there are people there who would not follow some of the rules you're supposed to follow. We saw a couple of weeks back when Greg Coleman, you know, had some police officers with money in plastic or something like that, right? That is against, you know, some of your policies and all that. So you wouldn't have everyone to follow a certain rule or to follow a couple of rules. In the police, you have some of the police officers who are like, not really okay, they're messy and all that. We understand it. So every system, you have people. When you have a group of people here, there are a couple of different people within the group who wouldn't follow the rules you have. So I'm not sure, just because one or two motorcyclists, did something, so that should be a projected image on the entire union of motorcyclists. It doesn't make sense to me. Now we have Mr. Bouaka as president. We have his government. Whether you agree with Mr. Bouaka or not, I'm sure there are some of the people in your government probably that are not as messy as you would think. So you wouldn't just do that entirely. So if you were so bent on having them off the street, I think as a big man in LMP, you should be able to stay patient until the case, is over, and then there's a final ruling from the court, and after that we'll know what's going to happen next. But if you start to intimidate and threaten them at an early stage of the case, Oliver, it says a lot about your intention. It means you're not doing this in good faith now. And you're also saying the legislature is with you, and a couple of different people, they're with you, and whatever happens in court, I mean, it doesn't matter. So it is the same thing about not respecting the rule of law or not respecting the constitution, or disregarding, the legal system of our country. Because if you have a case in court, you stay quiet, and there are some of the things you wouldn't want to say because you want to protect your interests, and the other party will also want to protect their interest. But the fact that you'll be here saying whether you go to court, if you're going to win, you're not going to win, just know we have this, that we want to do. So whether it is going to be a clear case for you in your favor or not, it is still going to happen. And going as far as saying you see some of the things that are happening to your guys, on the street when all people didn't see it, like, for me, no, it doesn't make sense. Like, right here, there's no fear, there's no favor. The guys are really intentional about this, and they're responsible in their dealing. Very responsible at that. We saw the first day they came out, a lot of them, we didn't see anything, being destroyed. No, we didn't see any of those at all. They were responsible enough. They read their petition, and people who were supposed to listen to that, of course, to listen to that. And since then, they've been really clear with what they want. Good. So now we're here and they've gone to court. I think they should be respected to some extent. Whether you're an ordinary citizen and you don't want motorcyclists, plying the streets of Monrovia, I mean, it is your decision. That is your point of view, and it is on you. There are also people now who are struggling, and there are people who also believe that the fact that you had the guys to do what you told them to do, have, one passenger, have a helmet or reflective, jacket and all that. So that was like, just part of some of the requirements. And a lot of them did so. So if you see one person who is not following what you've told them, I think you punish that person. But I think we've already crossed that part, because we're talking about that from the stage where we're recommending, what should be done and what should not be done. But here we are now, and you have a case in court. So I think everyone should wait for what happens next. But again, we have to be logical, about this, and forget about just the aspect of you being, in the habit right now of intimidating, the guys. It doesn't make any sense. But I still look forward to, listening to some of the things they recorded when they were, getting threatening messages or words from some of the folks from LMP.
Okay, so that's brilliant. And let me say this to our people, and that will take us to the call segment for the first edition. I mean, look, the guys should stop disturbing us, and I'm going to be very clear about it. You already have the situation where the guys went to court, like Alessa said, without even hearing the audio. The mere fact that senior police officers had to go to bikers to say something is by itself an act of provocation, because you were not saying anything decent to them. If it was something decent, the guys wouldn't have been sounding the way they were sounding. The fact that the guys went to court, it means they are forfeiting this issue of a protest. They don't want to protest. They don't want to do anything again to go into court, because they want to seek the real solution from the law. The law is bigger than all of us. There should be no reason why you go in to provoke these people. And that's why I keep saying, I haven't seen a group of people before who will add wicked to people who elevated them when they were nothing. We're going to go take calls of me. I'm not talking plenty. I have never seen a group of people very wicked and insensitive, especially to those who are on record of elevating them when they were nothing. For some reasons, the Unity Party is noted. Or maybe the Joe Boakai Unity Party, because there was an Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Unity Party, Alexa. The Unity Party under Joe Boakai is noted for being ungrateful to people who helped them. And that is what I see Gregor Como and T. Nelson Freeman doing to the motorcyclists. The first person it happened to was the man who President Weah told to carry Joe Boakai to hospital in America. When Boakai became president, he sacked the man. This man left his job in Liberia and went to America, carried the puppet there, carried in the hospital 2 weeks, spend the time. The woman got to be facing small Martinez to treat the puppet. The puppet got better, came back to the country. After a few years, the puppet became president. The man just said, oh, the way how when President Weah in power, President Weah tell me, say, oh, my picking, can't carry old man Boakai to the hospital. The man just said, oh, the way Boakai win now, I leave the puppet will not test me, even though I CDC man. I Joe we are picking, but the fact that President we have made me to carry him to hospital, he will not sack me because he know how my woman was taking care of him. He know how everything was happening. Yeah. The man sack that man. No, I'm just listing. I'm just trying to list the numerous occasions where this Unity Party under Joe Boakai has demonstrated insensitivity and ingratitude to those who not helped them before. And it is not a good thing. We'll come out to the motorcyclist issue. But I want to tell you how many people it not happened to. So the motorcyclist should not, I mean, it will hurt you though, but before you start regretting, let me tell you what did the Papa not do to people who not helping before. Then we'll come to you. Then you'll know why it is not strange. Why your case is not different. That man came to the hospital. Came back. The label when you were sitting down to the office, right up here, on right up here around Benson Street, Benson Nipo Street, around there. The late office you were sitting down to. Megan do nothing. Papa sack the man. You appointed somebody in the man position. Ali, when you put somebody in the man position, what do? You find another place to put the man. But the whole government, we got over 1 million jobs. The man who President we are told to carry Papa Boakai to the hospital, that man today is jobless. President Boakai sacked the man. Motorboy man, I'm telling you, because you guys were the one riding green t-shirt in the country on September 17 when UP launched ATS. You guys are the ones hauling United Partisan from Stephen Tower Estate, Banave Estate to ATS on motorway. Ping, rescue, ping. What? I want to play some of the rescue, ping, what they were on. I want to play some of it. But we don't have the time for that. You guys are the ones who are doing it. That's why I'm just telling you one of the ingratitude. One of the acts of ingratitude that we know from the old man. That's why we are not surprised that he's trying to put a serious restriction on your hustle, because he did it to the man who took him to hospital when Mo Ali them could not even carry in Ghana. The man who put him in plane and carry him in America, he did it to the man. He didn't get a man job. Baka Jaliwa couldn't even get him paracetamol. When President Weah said, "Oh my papa, my son will carry you to hospital and treat you," that man he ain't got a job today. The second person was Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson. The late Senator Johnson piece to his actions, the Papa died crying on his friend Papa. No, I mean the Papa died crying on his friend Papa. Papa died crying on his friend Papa. Peace to his actions, may your soul rest in peace, Senator Johnson. Senator Prince Johnson had no reason. In fact, look, every holiday that used to come in the country, President, we used to fans, Papa come, we get you the smaller rest, smaller ma, carry the old boy in Nima. Tell the people, I say hello. Are you carry me to them? That how they voted for me, I became president. I had job president. We are Prince Johnson to operate. They were close. Prince Johnson won't operate. The lesson of Johnson, he won't operate. He called Mange, he called other people around. He cut to her. Some kind of way, things were happening for him. He could call anybody that will pick up a phone and talk to him. He left the Weah's administration for personal reasons. He's aware of the reasons he left, though. He says, I just may so rest in peace. And that's what we're going to be talking about the second segment. He left, went to Joe Boakai. Look, they probably left a sitting government. Government was in power. I got money, I got everything. He left them. He said, oh man, Joe, I will support you. I'm not supporting Joe again. That you are supporting. Supported the papi, gave him Nimba. When all of the counters were saying, yes, sir, President, we are re-election. When all of the counters were saying, President, we still got confidence in you, Senator Johnson told Nimba to vote for Joe Boakai. And that's why today, President George Weah is no longer president of Liberia, because Nimba said no. Why did they say no to President Weah? Because Senator Prince Yomi Johnson, peace to his ashes, may his soul rest in perfect peace, told them to vote against President Weah. That's what they did. But what happened to Senator Johnson afterwards? What happened to the senator after he was able to turn, he counted Nimba over to Joe Boakai? And I want to explain what happened to him. He himself will explain what happened to him.
I don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't let me down. I'm in my corner. If you hear my preaching most Sunday, you will conclude that I'm right. Will you rescue as a nomenclature after winning? The broadcast, I don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't let me down. They don't even have time. So I'm in my corner. If you hear my preaching most Sunday, you will conclude that I'm right. Will you rescue as a nomenclature after winning? The broadcast, I don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't let me down. They don't even have time. Oh, I don't talk. Yeah, I don't talk because God knows why it's happening. And everything I will accept it because our son who is vice president to him from Nimba, the Nimba people will not understand if I start hating on Boakai.
You hearing it, Alexa? you hear what the listener Johnson said? They're not even picking my phone. I'm saying this to you, the motorcyclist, to encourage you that this betrayal you are having from the government, this particular betrayal they are doing to you, because that's betrayal, Alexa. These people brought this government to power. I remember September 17, 2023, on that fateful Sunday when the rain was falling. Most of you motorcyclists, your bikes would have spoiled in the rain. You used your motorbike in the rain to bring these rescue people to ATS, to bring them to ATS. You brought those rescue people to town, down to the very Senator Darius DeLong, who is saying that he doesn't want you guys to be in the street anymore, to be in Monrovia anymore. You contributed to his campaign. Some of you, there was a time the motorcyclists had $1 rally for DeLong election. When Joe Boakai was launching in Monrovia at the ATS on that fateful Sunday, like I said, you brought them to town. Oh yes, I can remember. We're in church. You come outside to function in your car to go back in the church building. You see the green laptop man with just bing, 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 bing. Where they going? They're going to town. This town you were bringing them to when they went to power. The Central Monrovia you were bringing them to ATS is right here at Lynn Street. Lynch and you and drive intersection. That's where ATS is. The same motorbike that brought them to town when they went to power is the same bike that they are rejecting. The same bike that brought them to town to the presidency is the same bike that says should not come to town. I'm mentioning Senator Johnson or deal he had with these people to remind you that if President Boakai could treat Senator Johnson bad to the point where the Pape was very, very, very angry, sad enough. The Pape was worried. I said it, unless I was laughing. You know, not because she's not heard about what he said, but because, I mean, the way I said it, Pape cried on another Pape. But the Pape died crying on President Boakai. You don't need rocket scientists to say it. He talked to people. He left voice recordings back. He expressed himself how he was being treated by a government that he brought to power. Now, I'm saying this thing to you. I know we're talking about motorbike, but I'm saying this thing these things to you so that they can remind you that if the Papa can do this to Senator Johnson, who made him president, what about your motorbike man? That's more being what you're doing to bring up the town. That what been the way. What they call? If Senator Johnson, who turned whole Nima County 200,000+ votes, turn it to Joe Biden and say, because of my county Nimba, President Weah is no longer president. If he can treat the Papa like this.
They answer my phone, they don't pick me up, they don't let me down, they don't even have time to go indeed to move far. Absolutely, after the whole election, I'm in my corner. If you hear my preaching most Sunday, you will conclude that I'm right. Will you rescue as a nomenclature after winning? The broadcaster don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't let me down. They don't even have time. Yeah, I don't talk. I don't talk. Absolutely, after the whole election, I'm in my corner. If you hear my preaching most Sunday, you will conclude that I'm right. Will you rescue as a nomenclature after winning? The broadcaster don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't let me down. They don't even have time.
Okay. Now the Papa voice, may it so rest in peace. This is Senator Prince Yomi Johnson, the listening to. May it so rest in peace, my dear Liberian people. But I'm saying this to you, the motorcyclist. If he can treat two people like that, what about you? It's not about regulation. No. It is not about orderliness. It is not about city ordinance. In Rwanda, Kigali is clean, safer, decent, hygienically okay than Monrovia. They got bike riders in Kigali. Nobody will lie to you. There are bike riders in Kigali, Rwanda. The same thing they told the bike riders in Kigali to do. That's what they told you. Register, insure your bikes, have your safety gear on, one passenger, each passenger to a helmet. You, the operator, too, you get your helmet. I saw the thing happening. You guys were respecting the laws. You were respecting the laws. You didn't go about breaking checkpoints for nothing, although you were wrong in doing it. But something made you to do it. A police officer parked one of your colleagues in the middle of the road and started to interrogate him on funny question. Bring your helmet. You bring your license. You bring the food where you eat to the holiday money miss here. He bring it all the funny information. Truck was coming. He saw the truck coming. Instead of telling the back rider to move on the road, he the policeman ran away. And the truck came and killed your colleague. Some of your colleagues who were on the scene, they got vexed. Why the policeman got to see truck coming in there? One of your friends. And that's what brought the noise today we are having. That's what brought the noise we are having today. You were respecting the laws. It's not about ordinance. The only reason why they don't want to see you come to town is because this administration headed by President Waga, the issue of ingratitude is deeply embedded in them. I told you, the man who cared about the hospital inside the man. Senator Johnson who turned all Nima County to him. You hear the Papa crying, Jenna. It not me talking there. Eh? I'm not the one who's saying the thing. It not me talking there.
Absolutely. After the whole election, I'm in my corner. If you hear my preaching most Sunday, you will conclude that I'm right. Will you rescue as a nomenclature after winning? The broadcaster don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't let me down. They don't even have time. Yeah, I don't talk. I don't talk.
You seen it? So, my people, motorcyclists, it's unfortunate. It's very sad. We don't even know what to do. Whatever the police director or his deputy may have gone down there to allege, let's say to you, I mean, they're all things made up because they don't want you. They think your job was to bring them to town on September 17 to launch their campaign, to sell their political manifesto, and after that, you are done. You guys are political condoms to them. No, you're not useful after being used. You know the orange? When you take the orange and you peel it, you open it, you suck out of the juice from in it, what do you do with the shell? You chunk it. I've never seen somebody suck orange before and they take the shell and lay it down easily. Unless you not see it before? No. And if you know what I think, even when a dustbin is chunky, ain't got use for it anymore. That's how they're treating you. But that's who these guys are. They could have placed serious restriction in place. Too many things they would have done that will ease your movement and provide service. Almost every street corner, they got railroading and parking there as checkpoint. So why was it difficult to control the free flow of traffic with motorcyclists? Why was it difficult? Implement the rules, get a ticket. When motorcyclists is violating, getting ticket. That's not a way for government to generate revenue. But because they don't want you, the truth of the matter is they think you are not Liberians. They think that you do not have control, you do not have right over the capital city. They don't want you to come. All triggered by insensitivity and ingratitude. Why United Party people did not tell you guys on September 17, 2023 that hey, they have a green teacher on me, don't get me to town because we come to power, we're not allowed to go to town. Why did they not say it? Why? On Afrobuffy, why did they not announce that if we come to power, all the motorboys that brought on this field to come campaign, we're not allowed you to come to town? Why did they not say it? They lied to you, they deceive you. They made you believe that they have better plans for you. Today, you took them to court. Instead of being very moderate, one of their heads went to you to say Fitija, to say things that will anger you. But I'm going to join the rest of the folks. Remain law-abiding. Regardless of all of the provocation, remain law-abiding. For how long, I do not know, because I'm not in your shoes. I'm not a bike rider. Remain law-abiding as far as you can control it, as far as you can hold it. One thing that I can never do is to tell somebody to suppress their emotion. I can't do it. That's why when we're coming out with small, your papa beat you and tell you, don't cry. That's wickedness. Your papa beat you. You won't cry. You say, don't cry. You cry, I'll beat you. Well, you already beating me now. So I'll cry. You can just beat me, but I cannot kill my emotion. So one thing I cannot tell you, the bike riders, to do is to continue to suppress your emotion. If it reaches a point where you can no longer hold your emotion, let it out. However, when you let it out, I do not know. What I think I know is be peaceful. If you can, it's up to you. But be peaceful. That's all I can say. But please, don't be frustrated. Don't be disappointed. You should have known better. You should have known the kind of man you are dealing with. You should have known when you were bringing the guys to town on September 17, 2023, you should have known who they are. You should have asked other people who worked with them before. Huh? And I hate to say this. I'm not going to say it anyway. But even one of their propagandists is on record of complaining how he was being, cornered. Yeah, discarded. That's a right word, Alexa. He was complaining. Huh? After he banned dependable nephew, he the one used to be paying the other one time came. The Papa but Papa started being ungrateful to him. That is it. Ingratitude is the letter. Ingratitude is the order of the day. Ingratitude. If you look, there are no group of people in this country that are filled with ingratitude, insensitivity than the current United Party. And I'm not saying it because I just want to talk. I'm saying it with receipts. I'm saying it with records. I'm saying it with references I can make. I told you about the man who cared about the hospital. He became president and sacked the man. Even the man that Joey are picking for God in heaven's sake. You sack that man who carry you hospital. You know how many things that man could have done? And he was wicked. And he was not a humanitarian. If he didn't have a heart, do you know how many things he would have done? You became president, you take food from on the main table. Even politics, Alexa, even when we are politically bad, Alexa tell her brother to send me to hospital. I spent 2 weeks with Alexa brother. Alexa brother woman can come, fish, pepper soup, all small mountain in America, give it to me, take care of me, bring me to the airport, buy small mountain for me, put it in my suitcase, bring me back, give me small money. Then I become president. I say, oh, because Alexa I'm speaking again. Then the Peking who was taking care of me, here, woman. Then I look at the Peking, I say, my Peking, you're not working in my government. Come on, beyond politics. Before I could become president, this man, family took care of me. When I was in hospital, if I be sack the man, then I use motorcycle, like yeah, pin, minute. Pin, minute. I'm very sorry, but that's what you're in. Bear. Maybe someday, somehow, it's gonna get better. But please bear. That's all we can say about this situation. We'll go to the lines. We can go take calls, Alexa. Yeah, maybe you want to wrap up. And let's all wrap up in 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute.
I wouldn't want you guys to think we're sounding as bad people now.
No.
I think this is just a reminder. Just in case you've forgotten who our president is. I think this is a reminder if you've forgotten his character. So I don't know what else to say, but I would like to join Oliver and Moba Molu and the rest of other people who have told you to remain peaceful and law abiding, because you're intentional about this. For me, that's what I admire most about the union. You're very intentional, and you're not just going back and forth. You know what you want, and that's what you're presenting. The fact that you've gone to court, it is clear that you're very, very intentional about what you want. But at the end of the day, with how the country is, just going back to last year and this year, talking about rule of law and the Constitution, what has been demonstrated so far when it comes to disregard for the rule of law, I will want you to manage your expectation like 100%. I'm not saying I don't trust maybe the legal system. I'm not saying I don't have faith in the legal system. I'm just speaking based on some of the things we have discussed in time past. So please manage your expectation, because we don't know what's going to happen.
The court may even rule against you.
Yeah, so
the men are in power, anything possible.
I don't want to be so blunt, but yeah, Oliver just said it.
No,
just manage your expectation, because you don't know what the result will be, what the final ruling is going to be. And whatever happens, I mean, we're here. We've been talking about a couple of
but you motorcyclists, you motorcyclists,
couple of weeks.
They seen court told the other lawmakers and said their action is ultra virus. You still saw President Barack go say that on the coon. So
imagine lawmakers.
Yeah.
So please manage your expectation, okay?
Hold your hat.
I mean, just hold your hat.
That the government we got right now, we can't do anything with it.
Just manage it. Do not be too optimistic.
Yeah, we can't do anything with it.
Yeah, we have this in the bag. No, do not be too optimistic.
Although you said when you're tired of protesting people who lost, I mean that one is your personal issue, but you know, hold your heart.
Yeah,
anything is possible. It's possible you may not win the case.
Yeah,
that the government are in power. Anything is possible.
Yeah, so it may not be ruled in your favor.
Yeah, anything is possible.
Just have that in mind. That's all I want to say.
Yeah,
just a reminder.
Okay, so that's what it is. Let's go give somebody some money quickly. Yes, I think somebody here is going to be walking away with some money, but please, we don't have the time to call all of the winners. There are people who are winning. We don't have the time to call all of the winners. Let's just call one person quickly. We take a break. When we come back, we go to the lines and take calls. While we are taking calls, we'll be giving other people money, small, 2,000, 1,000, different money we'll be giving to the people. But until then, star 799 # you select freedom as spot number 11. Let's go and give somebody this money quickly. Who is this person? What is his or her name? Let's go and speak to this person quickly. We're going to give you $4,000. 4,000 Liberian dollars is going to be given to you. Okay, so let's see. Let's see who is this person. Then we'll take our break to be right back. Let's see who this person is. Okay, let's see. Hello. How are you? I'm great. My name is Kewoke from Freedom Radio Liberia, man. Okay, so our system shows that you won $4,000 from us. Check your phone. Did you receive it? Okay, please check it. How many times did you play? 7 times, and you got $4,000 laying on your phone right now, ma'am. Okay, congratulations. Enjoy yourself. Okay, we leave it right there. So we'll go and open our lines and start taking calls. At the same time, we'll start calling other people who will be winning. That's what we do because we don't have the luxury of time. Let's take this quick break. Crime Stoppers Liberia is our official sponsor. When we come back, we go to the lines to take your calls on the 2 different topics. We talk about the motorcyclist issue. Yeah, we talk about what's the other topic? Oh my God.
We talked about the drug issue,
The drug
especially
issue,
what,
yeah.
what has
So drugs they come into the country.
And I was trying to get just a video of the drugs or the consignment in Lofa County. My God.
Okay.
I'm going to find it in the next few minutes.
Yeah. So we'll find a video and play that for you as well. But let's take this quick break. When we come back, we will definitely go to the phone lines.
Stop and cry and make it real for them before. Stop for Liberia. On the center to interior. Stop. Keep it hustle. Let's stop and cry for Allah.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, old man Sam Sign.
Stop. The people bringing safety to your door. Stop and cry and make it peace for them before. Stop for Liberia. On the center to interior. Stop. Keep it hustle. Let's stop and cry for Allah. Stop. The people bringing safety to your door.
Okay, so Crime Stoppers Liberia, they're bringing safety to your door. Alexa is about to forward the drug video to me, and we'll play it on the platform. You'll listen to the audio. Sad that our camera cannot show the screen, so those of you watching will not be able to see it. But when we come back here on Thursday, hopefully we'll play a lot of it for you. So join us on the conversation. 086 500 104 0776 104 104. Again, like I said, we're supposed to start the conversation on Nema County today. I'm not going to say more on it. Elisha and I will not dwell deeply on it. But let us say this quickly before we go to the lines. Nema is going to go to by-elections to replace Senator Prince Yomi Johnson. Your senator was a hero. He was a godfather. He was somebody who was a giant of Nema County. May his soul rest in peace. He is dead and gone. And you are going to be looking for his replacement. Please. The pape, last minute on earth, the time he spent on earth, his last days, he kept complaining to a lot of people. He complained to A.B. Gosson-Williams. He complained to former President Weah, and we have recordings to those effect. One of the complaints he gave is what we just play on the radio. And I want you to take your time to listen. Our people in Paco Island, our people all across the different Nema settlements in Montserrado, Nema United Community, Puebla, Johnsonville. There are a lot of people from Nema County in those areas. I want you to listen. As you'll be going to Nema County to be voting in the senatorial elections, please vote carefully, thinking about your godfather. There are people who made his life miserable last minute of the time. Some of them are supporting a particular candidate in the election. You got to be very careful who you're voting for. If you love Senator Johnson so well, then you should do everything possible not to bring those who brought sorrow to him last minute of the time, not to bring joy to them. If they cause your godfather to be in pain the last moments on the earth, if they cause him to be in pain, to be worrying, you don't have to support people who are supporting the same candidates. He kept complaining on this government. I'm not the one saying it. His voice is here.
Father. I heard you last night. Me and Kun indeed to move Kufa. Absolutely, after the whole election, I'm in my corner. If you hear my preaching most Sunday, you will conclude that I'm right. But will you rescue as a nomenclature after winning? The broadcaster don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't let me down. They don't even have time. Oh, yeah, I don't talk. Yeah, I don't talk.
Okay. This is just a bit of some of the things he had to say. He was hurt. When you hear your papa speaking, peace to his agent, may his soul rest in peace. But those are things he was saying. That's to tell you how hurt he was. And he mentioned names. He didn't hide it. He was a brave man. He could not hide his feelings. With all the way he was friends with George Weah, when he got vessel Weah, he called Weah out. And he said what he had to say about President Weah. Similarly, he just told you that after bringing the Babe to power, the Baka man can't even pick up my phone. He himself said it. I did not say it. He's on record. So before you go to Nema, We are told that UP, UP through VP Kun will be endorsing somebody for the senatorial race. You love your godfather. If you like it, give your counter to somebody who has been supported by people who treated your godfather bad. But I know Nimbayans are smart people. I know Nimbayans are people who will make decisions in the interest of their county. If they could not do it for your godfather, that had to pressure him to that extent, to give them another opportunity to decide for you who your senator will be, is to also tell them thank you for treating your godfather the way they treated him. 086 500 104 0776 104 104 are the numbers to join the conversation. Let's go to the lines and talk to you. Choose your topic and let's have a conversation about it. The first person, go ahead, sir. Let's hear you. What's your name? We are great, but please leave your radio, sir. Go ahead.
My name is Abraham calling from the office, 17.
Go ahead, AB. Let's hear you, sir. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
So one of the stories from the Labyrinth government, when I do the tablet is by the motorcycle union department, want to know what is he that came along with how to call the guy, John Keon?
No, John Keon is the regime motorcyclist leader. He's working with the government. He's at the Freeport. He has a job at the Freeport. They are the ones trying to beg you people that, okay, my people, y'all when you not go to town, y'all will not die, y'all must leave across here.
We say now we the Psychologist Foundation number 17. We are saying to the government, John Keon and do not should enter the number 17. No more again. If we enter there, we damage our people.
No. Okay. We'll leave you right there. Please be peaceful, my dear people. We're not supported. But let's talk to the other person. Go ahead. 1 minute. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm at work, but it's very important. I want to give my information on the drug situation.
Oh my God, you left the line. Please call us back. You want to contribute to the drug discussion. Drugs coming to the country like ever. But let's talk to this person. Go ahead. 1 minute. How are you? How you doing?
Yes.
Bonafide. Let's hear you, sir. 1 minute. Okay.
And every day we communicating with them. The president again made us say to have no election again. So the people here Congo were at support for full time. Every time that Sana Kuga paper, most of them are friends. I will live for them. Most of my friends, everyone said, and when they go for here Congo where to go, the way Sana Kuga treat the federal police, they don't go well with it. So they can't get enough position.
Okay. Thank you very much. We leave you right there, my dear brother. We leave you. Let's talk to the other person. Choose your topic and let's talk to you. Go ahead. 1 minute.
Good evening, okay.
Good evening, my dear brother. Robert Bakoya. Let's hear you.
Good evening to my dear sister. How are you, my dear sister? Okay. My own is the motorcyclist.
Go ahead.
One upon a time, I told you that my nephew Ryan by right.
You said that. You told us.
And for me, they say one apple one writing apple entire bear. But the government made a song. Most of the guys who Ryan by they know the song. He said, "No, you can't buy. Not buy my tie. When you cool name is he's saying that if human being going to be like corn, you're going to PA before you can get closer to that human being. Now, one time I went to eat around where I'm working. There's a motorcyclist I know you very well. We were talking about President Josh we are at that time. He said, "Mama, you're moving to me to talk to him." I said, "Mama, this brother is a humanitarian. Then I got to know him." He said, "That you people wanna go to school, you people damaging the country here. But what Joseph Baga is saying, we'll put in the chair." I said, "But you know my status. You just look at me. Today, I one of the ministers again say impossible. I left it with a caution. But for me, what I'll say to the motorcyclists, yesterday they did not listen to us. So what is happening to them is good, including my nephew who Ryan. I don't care.
No,
what happened to them?
We gotta
Yesterday, we all know this George Weah was doing good. But people who could not listen to UK and my dear sister, They say the rascal thing, they're not rescue, rascal thing or the best thing. Today, they think the planet that want the harvesting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I mean, I know how you feel, but we got to empathize with them. I mean, if they're going through a lot, we don't need to screw them by this time. Go ahead, wouldn't every rule?
Thank you, Kai. So let me say hello to Say Leza. Kai, you're the official spokesperson for the Liberation Rap movement.
Go ahead.
Kai, you know the people, they are wicked people. Kai, somebody can support you, then you stop there at the back. This is what the people doing. Even their president, he is a bigger man that doing sort of thing. He's ungrateful. This guy is a big angry. So we are not surprised that I go maybe Freeman will do that. Time for me to end. I want to tell Reggie Kun went to the area to go drink. One hour got buy a car. He told the guy to move a car from there and beat the car because I didn't buy a car. Then he start doing that, or else you'll be stay resisting.
Where did that happen?
Where do Aduma? In Kawaya. Then he start doing that kind. And that to your house, somebody buy a car, you that way. Different thing. This is a public area. Then he start doing that.
No. Let me say this to you and the rest of the people listening. Anytime you see a government official misusing his power, take out your telephone and record it.
Very good.
We need those recordings.
Thank you.
All right, my dear brother. Thank you very much. We leave it right there. Let's talk to another person on the line. Go ahead. 1 minute. How are you? How you doing?
Yeah, good afternoon. Okay. I'm Prince Inema, joining for district number 1, Masarado County.
Go ahead, Prince O. Let's hear you.
Okay, to the drugs issue.
Mm-hmm.
When President we are in power, you know that President we are came from Grand Crew. We don't know how many times drugs were arrested in Grand Crew. But since President Bwaka took office, we every month, every day they were arrest drugs in Lofa County.
Yeah, that's Go ahead.
You convince me to tell me that Bwaka not where the drugs entering the country. He passed it to a horse, right in front of a horse, they were the drug passing. Yeah. So that Bwaka stop killing the Liberian children. Let him stop killing us. Because he passing a bear ring entering the nation capital. So think okay.
Okay, we leave it right there. Let's leave you and talk to Daniel Saki. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good evening, okay.
Good evening, my dear brother.
And let me say good evening to my Lofa country sister. You know, I got to say okay. Our brother should wait that time. Although I got to move it fighting of who fight for it. But today, I can say about on Ben and Maja Kumia. Then one more about the motorcycle. You know anything about it? And right now, get them come as we speak. They are even waiting for motorcycle to come on the street. In fact, they come on the street and the motorcycle they are near me to him. So they will not go on the street. So that lets you know you on the side of it. On the 50 show this morning saying that some people for the city try to find the motorcycle over protest. No. Because somebody get it wrong. You got this problem. If somebody going on today, it's not a president. We are. And I mean, I hear the singer and people come on the street. You will not be opening your hand and throw my back on the side and we are coming on my back. You need to be president of the country. So you must be saying to the president, we have to be president. We are in the country. Don't be on the city. I got it for nothing. You don't want to cause a mess for yourself. You stop a lot of people movement. You don't want to do this. And it's not correct. But today or tomorrow, it's all pray for better than bro. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Daniel Saki. We'll leave you right there. We'll leave you. Let's talk to another person on the line. Several different conversations. Pick your topic and let's talk about it. Go ahead. This person, how you doing?
I'm okay. I'm calling from Tobo Village.
Tobo Village. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, okay, man. Like he wants make like a motorcycle to go against the government.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's talk to the person. Hello, how are you? How you doing? We are okay. The other one said the government to move the motorcyclists. Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Okay.
New Georgia Township? Okay, Louisiana. Go ahead, my dear brother. Let's hear you, sir.
Thank you for your platform discussion, my brother. You know, with the motorcycle, some of us are working for them. So now, I'm telling you, motorcycle.
Okay.
You know, when we're going to town, we used to tell motorcycle, they used to be flower or yeah. So when you flower, so when you have a plate where I was sure you never brought for him and seen it. But when I was a big power, I think that way we can use that. But yes.
register a bad way, you can have money. And now you tell the people to do compensation.
No, but the caller before you say that I don't want making motorcycle to get fair with the government. That means doing it or that you're doing your own thing. Okay. All right.
But you know how many people get children going to school in class? That motorcycle can carry fast and come out.
All right.
because it's traffic.
All right, my dear brother. Thank you very much. I'm aware, my dear brother. Let's talk to the other person. Go ahead. 1 minute. How you doing? Hello, sir. Go ahead. Let's hear you. No. Leave it alone for you. I beg you. What kind of mayor? Let's leave you and talk to the other person. Go ahead. 1 minute, Chief.
Yeah. Okay.
We are great, my dear brother. Let's hear you. Elesa is good, bro.
Okay.
Go ahead, Vernon. Quickly, let's hear you.
Yeah. For me, I want to speak about the drug issue.
The drugs issue. Drugs coming to the country. Yeah. Joe, we are no longer president, but we'll still get drugs.
Yeah. The drugs coming in the country, the people now. They get busy. We can't enter drugs is killing all in this country. The people that run, that one of the major propaganda they run in this country that job we are bringing jobs in the street. So I don't know why their country now, South Africa are reporting that is one of the countries that are distributing jobs. In our job center, job is coming from all over the country in different countries that come here. The last second April this one year in one stadium. They tried to ask the government never answered that question. And the jobs came from in a particular country and went and entered into stadium. So our brothers, they are dying. The jobs are the free. For me, I will say that Joseph Boyka bringing in these jobs because we don't know about solar panel, we don't know about Zumbi. Zumbi took over the country and stealing the young people. Come to my community, you will see a lot of young children, a lot of youth that need to do something for themselves. But look at when you see them, they're butting the wall. You will see one person hitting the wall. They say, the person crazy, and they're not crazy.
Okay.
So the people that come on, they came on, and Senator, you know, said that, and don't we are pushing the country. In fact, he was going to pay a rehabilitation ever. What is rehabilitation ever every day? They are free. We don't see nothing. So the people get allowed to come to power.
Okay.
So this is a condition that we need to get.
Thank you.
In this country. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll leave it right there. We'll take the female general, then we call it a day. Yeah, maybe one more after her. Let's hear you, man. Cece, go ahead. We're great.
Chief. She gave you go 1 minute. Joe, we are go. We go. Okay, that's all said there when you go and play the
Don't put more on the motorcyclist. Stop it. That's why you must second make power. That why we can make power. You don't have to vote the motorcyclist, please. You go in pain.
You know
what happened?
You know what happened?
What?
Don't I say I'm provoking the motorcycle? I see this song for what I was playing. I want to see this provoking the motorcycle.
Oh, I just feel you won't vote the motorcyclist.
I'm not provoking them.
Okay, go ahead.
They look for it, they get it.
Oh,
so you know what I'm saying? When you drive, see, you can't see. Rossi from there, go now. You drive a motorcycle, I'll tell you myself. And when that's what you are playing, here we are go. Making me softly, motorcycle, try the DJ. And that's what you are playing here. Okay. Don't
They were playing it.
My blood makes you on the radio.
They were playing it.
My blood makes you. See, they said about a trust issue. You understand? But tell me, you open the what do you want to say?
Uh-huh.
Are you saying it?
No.
You want saying it?
Okay.
Any drug start in this country, okay, say massive state. Imagine, and arrest me. That what a cartel breaking it. Okay. But we have a big shoot. I know food. People are dying in the street. Okay, you are here. They can't messing with wow. They were going from place to place. Even market here, they want me. We have big market for. They were caring for black in the country. When we're trying to go to school, when they tell us, we want job, we are going to pay our school fee. We want free spiritual. And they were saying that, yeah. And they were telling you were lying on in this country and you were lying on black. What would tell about black when you start here and sit on fast? Did I make see? So then they are crying. What are they crying for? They don't carry black to America. What let them bottom money debt? They can't black start doing nothing. They can't black to America. So put a man down in 1 minute. You think what good thing? That makes ungrateful.
Okay.
When I say you are ungrateful, that's a bad, you must say that cry. Because bad, when you fall food there, about 1 minute you won't eat.
Thank you.
That's okay. And that's very ungrateful. Why you do not put in the country? It's wrong. We're telling them the message. We're testifying when they come from the party, I'll move to a other party, and be 2 parties for them to collect all that money. And once they come here in this country, very glad for a job, my sales, the parking lot. But I was sitting here. Who was it when you kill the party? My left line, I left that up. The point of sitting there will take again. It's all of them. I'm going to be enjoying my now. But to them, I say, will tell everybody. They do my pressing. All the things in the country is just so. There's Juby or the shut up play. That water and the children taking it. So not anything yet. Everybody look for. You see, I can't look for. I can't get to my house. And say, why to the everything, get light to up. So that I'm going to walk out. But I'm going to attack house. You didn't give for. I'm going to realize no love here. Everything. And you want to show the people say they're working, they're not working. Maybe you're not getting the country for our place. Walk out. So not tell us that I walk out begin to. That walk out begin to. There's to be out there for. That's so not follow layer.
Okay.
That's to be who Brian, but hey. They know the gas out of what they say. So for the one trust money, it's about the gas. And for the trust money, your friend said, I will go for them. I will go. You money job, you need the office. Every time go outside when he said, no, so job on this street. I think I'll go outside.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know Farina and I don't want to I know how to find it. And I'll pay it. But the kid, what's the message? Yes, hold on. In a job business. He said, what if I go fight for industry? He was stupid, he was stupid, we're not stupid. And I will work out again. But I will tell you, I will tell you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right, Masisi is angry because she said, according to her, they didn't listen to them. Let's go. Alexa, we got to go home.
Okay, so I wish, the union of motorcyclists, Supreme Union, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of motorcyclists, all the best. I'm hoping that, at the end of the day, you will have the court rule in your favor, to be able to earn a living as usual. So wish you all the best, but stay peaceful and continue to remain, law abiding, seriously. And also, Liberians out there, please stay very, very careful, because some of the things we see on a daily basis, it is really, really disheartening. Continue to exercise some level of caution, especially when you're going out and, coming back home.
Okay. Standing Number will continue. Standing will continue with the broadcast here on 87.9. My name is Kind. Tomorrow we are going to be off the radio because the Lone Star of Liberia will be playing 4 o'clock. That's the same time the show can be on. People will be listening to the game and they will not talk politics. So until we return here on Thursday, which will be our resumption date, have a wonderful time. God bless you. Standing Number will take control. Keep playing the cash giveaway on star 799 hatch. You select Freedom as spot number 11. Until we see you on Thursday, have a wonderful time. God bless you. Bye-bye.